In this short video, I'm going to show you some new information related to the graphic user interface. Specifically, I'm going to show you how to navigate with the navigator. You've done a little bit of that already, but I want to clarify that just to make sure we're all on the right track. And I'm going to show you how to add new windows to your application. At this point in time, you've spent several tutorials adding different controls. So we know how to do that, but the window is slightly different. So what I want to do first off here is I have my application mostly created here, and you see in the navigator I've got all of the contents of my project, and in this case all of my images. I have within the app 1, 2, 3, 4 windows already created. So I'm going to show you how to add another window. Again, it's pretty straightforward. I'm going to come back over to my library on the right hand side, and I've had my pull down menu set for all controls so far through these tutorials, which means I see everything that is available to me. All these different categories are listed. If I want to, I can simply jump back to the top and I can choose a very specific set of controls. So in this case, I would choose project items, and it just shows me that subcategory of things to add. Now I know that my image control is in project items, so if I want to add an image, I can use that. Or if I want to edit and delete my images, you'll see when I click on that, it shows me all of the pictures that are in my activity. So there's my bike image, my baby shrimp, my jam, for example. And I can back out of that or go back to my window by double clicking. Now I've jumped back over to this side here, so you notice I'm in my window tab. I'm seeing all of the contents of my window. If I click back, I get back to my entire project, window 1, window 2, window 3, etc., window 4. So I already have those 4 added. I'm going to add one more. So I'm going to come back over here to my library, and I'm going to choose project items, and there's my window. If I double click on that, I get a new window, window number 5. Now I can obviously take that and slide it down and put it in position so it's with my other windows, and there I have my new window. I'm going to go back to my inspector. I can give it a name. I can give it a title. So this one will be untitled. I could make that another joke if I wanted to add a 4th joke to my file, and I start to add my content to that window. So back to my navigator. This here is very useful for traveling through your application during the editing phase. So if I want to go back to window 1, I simply click on it and I go back to window 1. But here I'm going to open this folder, and it shows me then the controls that are in my window. So if I open that folder, you'll see that I have 3 labels, and I can click on any one of them, and you'll see they will highlight here over on my window. So there's my 3 labels, which are my 3 jokes, and I can click on my push button, and it highlights the appropriate push button. Now within that folder, I see that there's an action on this push button. So if I want to get to my code, I have 2 options here. I can double click on this, and I get into my code, or I can back out, go back to my window, and I can actually physically click on the button also, and that will take me into my code. So there's a little bit of information on how to travel through your application with your navigator, and I like to keep this organized. I like to keep it closed for the most part. That way I can jump from window to window, and if I specifically need to look at something within that window, you can access it either through here, or you can access it right on that window. All right, so I'm not going to as I said, I'm not going to show you all of the details on what to add for this. A quick summary as listed in the tutorial. 3 buttons, 3 labels on window 1. On window 2, I have 1 label and 1 button. On window 3, I have 1 label and 1 button. And on window 4, I have 1 label and 1 button. And I added window 5 here to show you how to add more windows, but I'm simply going to right click on this one and delete it because I don't want it as part of my activity. So I think what I'm going to start doing for future tutorials, when I show you the build information, I might just take a screen capture of the navigator and let you go and try and build from there. 1, 2, 3, 4 windows, and the contents of each window will be set accordingly. All right, so now we are a little bit more familiar with our navigator. We are a little bit more familiar with our library and how to pick and choose different categories. Personally, I like to leave it all controls. And there's another option here also. You can change the display. I like to keep it small icons and labels. That way I can see graphically and with the text. But if you prefer something else, you can certainly do that. it is up to you how to change and control your own library. All right, good luck with your build. The next tutorial will show you some coding options for navigating between windows and adding message buttons.